You ever been here? Yeah, that was me not that long ago. And I've been researching for hours and hours. And I think that I came up with the easiest and simplest kayak trailer build that will get you out on the water way quicker. And it's actually good.
Today, I'm going to be showing you a kayak trailer build that is cheap, simple, and sleek. It actually looks good. And by the end of this video, you will have the knowledge to build one for yourself, a list of supplies and tools that you would need to do the job, plus one bonus tip that will help you with your kayak transportation issues. So to start out with this kayak trailer build, you are going to first need a PWC trailer or a jet ski trailer. So this next step is as easy as hopping on Facebook Marketplace, looking up jet ski trailer, and there's going to be tons of options. And one of the things that you're looking for is, if you can find it, find a Shorelander. And what do you know? Right there is a Shorelander jet ski. I'll bet you it's almost the same model. They work really good, really reliable. I love mine. One of the things you're going to want to ask those people when you reach out to them is you're going to want to ask them if there is a title for this trailer. I wouldn't touch it if it doesn't have a trailer title, especially if you're in a state that doesn't require it. It could be so easily stolen by other people, so you don't know if you're landing with a stolen trailer, and you don't want to deal with that. And if they have the title, you can pretty much have confidence that it's not a stolen title. The next thing is if the lights work. If the lights don't work, it's a process of trying to fix that, and that may be something you don't really want to get into. I went ahead and picked up one of these 1997 Shorelanders, and it's worked phenomenal for me. You can expect to pay somewhere between the range of $500 to $700 for the actual trailer, and then to register it and to pay your taxes on it, you're probably looking for about another $150. In some states, you don't need to register trailers that are under a certain amount of weight, and then another $50 for all the materials that you'll need to turn it into a specific kayak trailer. The great thing about this specific build is that it only needs just a few tools. Really, you need any sort of saw that you prefer. You might use a table saw, you might use a skill saw. If all you have is a hand saw, that will be no problem at all. You need an impact, but a drill will work for both of the tasks that you need. You need the drill to drill the holes in the PVC. And you need the impact to drive the screws from the PVC into the wood. But you can use a drill for that very same thing. Specifically, you're going to need whatever bit your screws need. You're going to need that. Preferably an extra long one. If you can get one that's like 3 or 4 inches long, that's perfect. And you're going to need a drill bit, a smaller one that the screws will go into. This will be drilling into the bottom part of the PVC. And then this one, this is very important for this, is you're going to need some sort of hole driller that is bigger, that you can fit this through. So you can actually drill in your screw through the PVC pipe. A lot of your bit driver sets, just like this, are going to come with a few different attachments that actually will help you get the job done without having to get an extra long shank for a bit. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your piece right here, and in that box you might find something like this. It's normally for the smaller bits, but it actually will work for this. Put it in right there, and it's extra long, and that will be good enough to get through the 4-inch PVC. Another tool that you might need is just an adjustable wrench, just like this, and really all that is for adjusting your bunks on your PWC trailer. These always come in handy, so try to pick one of these up at the store if you don't have one. This build not only needs just a few tools, but it only needs a few different supplies. You're going to need a few things. As far as screws go, you just need any sort of wood screw and a washer attached. Just like this, you can see I just use a deck screw, and then I've got a washer attached to that on the end. You're going to need 4 of those, and you're going to need 4 normal deck screws. Then you're going to need some wood, and that wood needs to just be long enough to reach from frame to frame on your
kayak trailer on your PWC trailer. It can, preferably you want it to be pressure treated, but if you don't have that and you're balling on a budget and you have some extra scrap wood, whether it's 2x4 or 2x6 material, that will be just perfect. That'll be just fine to be able to get you out there on the water, and you shouldn't have too many issues. It'll be a long time before it starts rotting out. And the last thing you're gonna need is 10-foot PVC pipe. You can just go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whichever big box store you have, and you're looking for probably about a 10-foot piece. You don't need to cut it at all, and you're looking for something in the 3-inch or 4-inch variety. So your first step is going to be flattening out your bunks to allow your boards to sit on the very top of those bunks flush, and then it's going to be even right here with the frame. That is a very, very important part. With your adjustable wrench, all you have to do is loosen those up and it tilts very, very easily. The next step is you're going to take your saw and your pieces of wood and you're just going to chop them off at a certain length. It's going to be a little bit less than your total distance between your frame to frame. And from there, you're just going to screw it in. You really only need one screw. Screw in this board to this bunk. At this point, you're going to go to the bottom of your kayak. You're going to want to flip it over. And your job now is to measure the space between the high points of your kayak. Some kayaks are just a V-hole. At that point, you just choose where you would like it to be to support it well. Every kayak is different. Measure the places that are the lowest, or you might say the highest, points of the hole so that the PVC can just ride right in there. Now the reason why you are measuring those high points or those low points, whatever you want to call them, is because that's where they are going to ride here. Mine specifically is kind of pointed at the end and wide out there because that's just the way that the kayak hole is formed. Now to make sure that this is centered, your job is to then measure between frame to frame, find the center point. Once you find the center point, take the total distance that you measured between the high points where you want your bunk, divide it by 2, and then start the center point, measure that total amount over to that point and mark it. That way you can drill a hole right there and be prepared to attach your bunks. Now this next part is probably one of the more particular parts. This is where you take your screws with your washers on it, as well as your big drill bit and your small drill bit. So you can see here we have the lettering. This is how I knew where I was going to do it. I wanted it right there on that lettering, and then on the exact opposite side, doesn't have to be perfect, you're going to drill the small hole. So big hole on one side, small hole on the other. Once you make those holes, you're going to place it on the place that you already marked, and you're going to screw in your washer and wood screw combo into that. This big hole allows your drill to your impactor, your drill, to go through and successfully put the screw all the way into the piece of wood. So the reason why I wanted my bunk and my piece of wood to be flush with the frame here is so that when I put the PVC on top, it's going to be laying on 3 different points. Your frame up here, your piece of wood here, and your piece of wood in the back. In all, this kayak trailer build probably took me somewhere around the range of 15 to 20 minutes. It's a really simple build, and it genuinely is strong, it's cheap, it's simple, and it genuinely does look good in my opinion. And you don't have to break the bank spending it on a really, really expensive setup.
Now before we finish out the video, I have one more tip that could help you with your kayak transportation issue. I personally have done kayak fishing on all the different levels. I've had a sit-inside kayak that I put on top of my Toyota Camry and strapped it with ratchet straps through the windows, and it took forever to get it up there and out on the water. And then I've done it with kayak carts, with a medium-sized kayak, a sit-on-top kayak. And then I've also done it with this big kayak on a nice trailer. And some of the things that they don't tell you about kayak carts are some of the difficulties that you do have to deal with. First, when you have a kayak cart, you have to take it off of your truck bed. And sometimes it slides off in an awkward way, And if you don't strap it down just right or put it right in the right spot, it can be crooked, things can fall off, it won't roll straight, it won't roll right, it'll get stuck in a crevice. Or sometimes when you're unloading it, the back of the keel ends up hitting the ground. And you can eat up the bottom of your kayak if you're not very, very careful with a kayak cart. And finally, those options can be hard on your body. It's not terrible, but it's not that easy. It can hurt your back to get it in and out of the truck bed. If at all costs you can manage to get and store a trailer with your kayak on it, it is an absolute game changer. And this is the reason why. I have found that when I finally got a kayak trailer, I got out on the water more. I was able to start fishing before work. I was able to get out on the water more frequently with less time in the process. That's a game changer. And if you are thinking about getting out of the sport of kayak fishing because it's kind of a hassle to get your kayak into the water, don't lose hope. Getting something like this at an affordable price can help you get on the water comfortably and start to enjoy kayak fishing again. I digress. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys have gotten this far in the video, I would really love if you would hit that like button and consider subscribing. It would mean a whole lot to me. We'll see you guys next time.